This adapter turned on my Super Nintendo with no power going to it. How's it going, everybody? This is BlueSwim, and today I am taking a look at a generic, unbranded N64-To-HDMI adapter. And this goes into the AV multiport on the SNES, the N64, obviously, and the GameCube. So I've been wanting to stream some of those retro consoles on YouTube or wherever, and my main streaming setup involves this HD60X from Elgato, which only uses HDMI, hence why I'd need this adapter. What we have here just requires simple setup. You know, nothing too special about it. You know, you have a 4:3 and 16:9 aspect ratio switch and a USB port to power it. So you do that. Plug in the HDMI. Plug this into the Nintendo 64. And power everything on. There's Pikachu. Okay. Now, what's interesting about this is that when I recorded it earlier, with power going to it, it would show a little bit of the top, like it would cut off a little bit of the top and then display it at the bottom on the Elgato capture screen. And it was slightly off-center too, but now for some reason it's actually working properly. But that is not why I'd make this video. I would not waste your time with something as simple as that. Okay, so we've established that this works for the Nintendo 64, one of my all-time favorite systems, and this is my original N64, I might add. Okay, so we will turn this off. We've established that this adapter does indeed work. Now, when I was testing my setup out earlier today, I did the Nintendo 64. I was having that issue with the display, kind of displaying, you know, the cutoff portion of the top at the bottom. So I thought, okay, what the hell? I'll try the Super Nintendo, see if that works any better. Excuse me if I'm not getting that into frame well enough. So I whipped out my Super Nintendo. This is not my original Super Nintendo. Unfortunately, that one bit the dust. I did a video on that during my previous YouTube run. But when I was getting everything hooked up, I hadn't plugged in the power cord yet. It was just sitting on the floor next to the system. However, with the USB cord plugged in, and this device is getting a little warm, everything was set up like this. And I thought, okay, I'll plug in the video cable first. I mean, it's never been a big deal or anything. And I'd like to draw special attention to the fact that this light is off. The switch is firmly in the off position. It is not up for on. It is down for off. There is nothing plugged in. This has not been modified in any way to run on like an internal battery or anything like that, because I mean, there's no way of turning it on. However, when I plugged in this N64 to HDMI adapter with power plugged into it through the USB right there, this is what happened. And I will turn this around so you can see for yourselves that this copy of F-Zero is plugged in there, and there is nothing else plugged in the power port or anything. This adapter turned on my Super Nintendo with no power going to it through its normal power switch, and the light is on, the switch is down. I turn it off, and it still runs. And Reset works and everything. This is one of the craziest and no doubt, you know, unsafest adapters that you could ever use in your video game setup. One more thing I'll show. Okay, here's the 4.3 and 16.9 toggle switch. It does work. And when I unplug this USB, micro USB port for the power, off it goes. And with no power going to this adapter, I'll bring in my power cord, and this time, in this take, it's actually plugged in. I've been trying to show all of this in one take, and something would always be unplugged when I wanted it plugged in. But okay, there. Power going to the Super Nintendo. It is plugged into this adapter. The adapter does not have any power going to it through that micro USB port. So I power it on the normal way. And there it is. This is such a crazy adapter. Never seen anything like that before in my life. I've never experienced an adapter that can turn on a system whether you want it to or not, just by being plugged in through micro USB and an AV multi-in port. I wholeheartedly do not recommend using this adapter because God knows what it will do to your system if you try to power it through USB, through the AV multi-port for an extended amount of time. I did not even want to use this thing to begin with. But, okay, now that's interesting. Now it's having trouble detecting the signal. Okay, let's see. Resetting it helps. Okay. Now it works. I had to reset it. But yeah, that is a seemingly possessed adapter that can power your Super Nintendo just by being plugged into the AV port on it. Never seen anything like this before in my life, and I hope I never do again. Yeah. Definitely think twice before you pick up some of the generic Chinese manufactured HDMI adapters for your old retro systems, because you never know what harm they might cause. I never would have expected this adapter for HDMI to turn on my system. Never seen anything like it before. This has been BlueSwim. I hope you liked the video. And if you like the video, like the video. And if you enjoy content like this, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell, because apparently all that stuff is really important to the YouTube algorithms. And I'm not a very big YouTuber. I'm a very small YouTuber in the grand scheme of things. So all the help you want to send my way, as far as likes, subscribes, shares, stuff like that, it helps out so much, and I greatly appreciate it. This has been BlueSwim, and I'll catch you all in the next video or the next live stream. Take care, everybody.